1, 2, 3, 4.
Today we're back. Unfortunately,
-1.
Yeah, Carlos isn't here.
Rest in peace.
He will be missed.
We had that major stuff, and you know,
We're doing
the three favorite members are here anyway.
Yeah, the core. It's like we're like the Miami Heat back like 2010. Fucking Chris
Big three.
Bosh, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. Yeah, we're doing a new type of video. It's super epic. It's a
We need
reaction.
like a little catchy name for it. We need like a little
That
we already
we'll
used
work
off
on
the
it.
top. We have to call it like
This could be called
off the
this is-
beginning. Quick little like one-off reacting to an album. The way it's gonna work generally is one of us is gonna pick an album that we have been meaning to listen to for a while and never got around to.
You guys don't have to watch us for too long without Carlos, because I know it's just awful without him. But it's called Corduroy's Mood. It's an EP, 1991. The second project by Fishman's. Huge cult following, like on Rate Your Music and on music forums. I mean, like on Rate Your Music, some of their albums are rated like top like 20 albums of all time. So it's probably a little bit circle jerky, but I'm sure it's pretty good. Lead singer or the band said that it's supposed to evoke the feeling of winter, and it's supposed to be a mix between Valentine's Day and Christmas. Sounds like a Japanese person making random references to Western culture, but first song is
Yeah, you can say it.
pronounced Gokigen wa ikaga desu ka? I watched Howl's Moving
Yeah, so
Castle.
Can we all take a guess at how to pronounce it?
I mean, Victor sounds. That's what I was gonna say. Is what Victor said. Gokiden wa ikaga desuka.
I looked it up, and apparently the title of the song means "How are you doing?" Yeah, and a lot of the stuff is about like how is that person doing? How are you doing? One of the translations is like that person with no blue thing, so I think that might mean like. And then there's a couple of lines in there that says "I like the radio," which I thought was interesting.
It doesn't sound very wintry. It sounds like a springtime song. It's very like bouncy and like upbeat. You know.
I like the carnival-y sound to it. I always like a very solid groove, like with the organ and with the kind of high pipey, like very. It's hard to really get into the lyrics. One on first listening to because I don't it didn't completely blow me away, but I think that background vocals were pretty fun. And I really liked the end where he was like, yeah, that one. I was really bright. It felt like a really bright sort of last home stretch.
Yeah, for me, it felt like the song just felt whimsical. If I had to put it in a word, really loved there was like a switch up, a minute 10. That I thought that part of the song was incredible. It was like very,
it went from like just a 2 and 4 thing to almost like a waltz. But also at the end, that after the music faded out, there was that like pinging kind of like chopped up, whatever that was. I thought that was cool.
Good. It was sort of an offbeat like pop switch that you wouldn't always expect in this type of pop song. But it was a little bit awkward for me. Like I liked the sound. Like once it transitioned, it was a little bit awkward of a transition.
Feels like the next few songs should go like any direction. You know.
I feel like it's
based
gonna be
on
dark.
what the based on what the guy said, it's like a wintry thing. You know, I feel like it could go anywhere.
You know me and my connections. OD, bro. The title translation is "She's sleeping."
She's
Okay.
sleeping.
So-
That's a lot of words.
She's sleeping.
Actually, no, I guess it's only 2 words and then like a little conjugation or whatever the G
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Okay.
I like that song a lot more than the first song.
It was more solid, like in terms of the transitions and the ideas. I think it just made it made a little bit more sense. I don't think the first song is like totally at fault. One thing I didn't, even though it was a groovy song, is I didn't really like the mix of like the first guitar and like the guitar that maybe up to the 3-minute mark or even through the whole song. It's just like a little bit. I just wish it was a little louder. Like it was in sort of like the left like middle. And it was just like a little too soft, even though that's like the main riff. Like that's like the main, yeah.
But just the mix was like kind of unusual. It was very like bass heavy and I guess vocals. I couldn't hear a lot of like the rhythm guitar a lot of drums. And just some of the things were just seemed a little out of balance.
I was a big fan of that solo, the guitar solo. Yeah, and then I also really love his delivery on the song. No idea really what he's saying, but like you can tell he's like is just passionate and really getting into it. I thought it was beautifully delivered.
Oh, the
After the
horns
second-
were great. The
That was great
horns
too.
were
It was
awesome.
I was a little surprising to hear horns, but it worked very well. And then
it paused, and then the horns came. It was like.
I used to be able to watch TV without any.
That's probably
all right, on to the next. This one is called Murasaki no Sora Kara.
Following in Japan.
Japanese following. Both following in Japan. We will after this
Shit,
video.
I mean, we have as many listeners from Japan as we do from America.
So yeah, there you go. 0.
2.
All right, so we have reached the end of the third of 4 songs. 75% of the way there, man. We're just
I don't
flying
want it
through
to
this.
be over yet. I really, I'm quite enjoying this album.
Title, this one means From the Purple Sky.
Because like translations are never perfect, but especially like looking at the translation of like something meant to be a pop song. Because like we look at like you could read lyrics of like pop lyrics of like English speaking people and you'll just be like, what the hell, like this is like the dumbest lyric I ever heard. But then you read a translation of another language, it's just gotta be even weirder. But yeah, I think that's this song was super calming. Drumming I think was a lot stronger, and I didn't find any problems with the mix. Like I felt like it was more of a solid pop mix.
Right off the rip, I really liked the brushes on the drums. Thought that was cool because you don't hear a lot of brushes. You like almost never ever hear brushes in popular music. I think what's kind of cool is these guys are taking these like jazz styles and kind of like reinventing them. Like the brushes are like the brushes jazz. You think he was playing them in a jazz style almost. There was a waltz in the first song. In this song, when they got into that brass solo, which again I thought was really great in the first half, it almost felt like they were like almost like alluding to the first song. It seems like these guys really like the vibraphone. There's a lot of vibraphone in this song. There's vibraphone in the last song, especially at the end of this song with that outro. You heard the vibes going back and forth in the ears. The mix on this song and the last song leaves me a little wanting. Like I can hear there are so many things happening inside of the song, like in these choruses. There's so many elements, just background singers and like vibes and synths and bass and all this stuff. And I just can't pick it all out. I would love to be able to hear.
Do you think that could be like partially due to the fact that it's like their first, or you said their second project together? Maybe it was like
I didn't realize
really new to mixing and everything.
Again, it might be my headphones. That the bass is just a little bit too prominent.
The
and it
bass,
kind of covers up.
The bass especially. I feel like the bass.
It covers up other
so...
elements.
Oh, I don't. Maybe it's different for me on Spotify and on different headphones. I felt like the bass in the beginning, like I almost couldn't hear it. Like I wanted it to be louder, and like barely hear it over like the drum. I was like.
The one thing that I thought was funny that I picked up on was there's like this twinkle sometimes that they'll like chop up into sections. There's a few sections of the song. After each section, there's a little like twinkle that sounded like when Team Rocket got blasted away in Pokemon.
Evan brings up a good point of like all the different styles and kind of little things that they're doing that we're not realizing, because this is kind of different from pop music that you maybe would hear in the 90s using like a jazzier sound. Like I don't know like that many jazz sounding pop rock type of thing like this, and it's kind of cool to hear how they take. I
agree with you. They're taking like a more acoustic approach, I think, than like using like jazz guitar and like synths and stuff. It's very like the drums and bass are jazzy, more than.
Yeah, and another thing I wanted to say is like I don't know like the musical history, and I don't want to like disrespect the moves that they're making over there in Japan, but I'm just saying like it's kind of interesting how they take jazz is Western, but maybe you'd want to take these like jazz pop Western ideas and then they bring it over, and it's just like has this different sound selection, or maybe different, using the vibes more, using more of the jazz drumming techniques that maybe wouldn't be used.
Yeah, I honestly think. No.
Were you in the elevator?
Way.
In the elevator?
My disability, I had to get it checked up on.
Wait, when?
We're in a pandemic, so we have to get his disability checked up on.
We in a pandemic.
Wait,
We're in a
when?
pandemic. Yeah, when?
Alright. Because you just asked me. What was that?
Carlos,
You're gonna write your way out like
Put
Hamilton?
on Corduroy's Mood right now in the car. Unless I just cut you out and nobody will know that you were ever here. And then
Ever.
I'll go back to all the old videos and cut you out.
Cut you out and re-upload them.
So it is the feeling of being saved. I told Victor I want you to guess what this is called.
Guess what it's
I
called.
have no idea. Like orange fish falls from the blue rainbow. I don't know. I have no idea what it means. I mean, I guess I won't forget. But you guys, please correct me if I'm wrong. The mix in this song, maybe not the mix rather, but EQing decisions. It felt like they cut the head off of the piano. It was all mids and lows. Is that okay? I wish there had been some highs in the piano. It was very just cut. I like this song. I thought this was a great song. That they love to fill the mids with elements.
One thing that I thought of as soon as I heard the piano, and then what's the lead singer's name? I don't know. The lead singer, when he came in. I don't know why, but it just gave me like Radiohead videotape.
It did actually
I don't know
kind of
why,
sound like that, yeah.
Just like open, simple piano riff, simple bass part.
Yeah, and like his vocals kind of sounded Yorkian.
Yorkian.
The Lulu part. I wasn't really with it at first at all. I don't know. I liked it after like the third time.
That means like, you're cringy,
okay.
Scott.
It's gone full circle in about 30 seconds. Yeah. I at this point it's gotta be an artistic choice. It's gotta be like pretty, like obviously it's deliberate, like they mixed it, they know what it sounds like the other songs with the sort of strange mixed choices in terms of like what we think of a pop jazz type of thing. I don't know, it's kind of interesting. It's artful. I did, and there was a little bit of flanger, a little bit of distortion. They cut out the highs. I think it's just like it's a cool mix. It's something that's hard to judge. It's like listening to like a shoegaze song. It's like I feel like you have to have so much expertise in like audio engineering to know if something's like a really tasteful, sound. Because basically this song rides on just like, did they get the mix right? Like, does it sound? I think that they nailed this kind of gutted mix on the main like instrumental part. And I really liked his screechy vocals like in the middle. I felt like he was a lot less. He was more vulnerable. Like he was like a little bit,
way up
in
the range.
This one for me gave the winter season vibe. That like this is the only one for me that I could feel like that was a fitting description of it. Like if you had to pick a season.
So just like perfect, like good or great, like just between 2 thumbs down and 2 thumbs up.
I'm gonna give it 2 thumbs up. This is absolutely a recommend for me. I'm definitely gonna listen to other Fishman stuff. I feel like this is right up my alley. Really poppy, really fun.
I'm also gonna give it 2 thumbs up. Today I was talking to my drum teacher at a lesson this afternoon, and he asked me what I think is like the most important thing you can get in like an album or in like a live set of a performance. And my first thought was variety, right? That is exactly what they do on this album. I think the variety is great here. I almost want to say silly, but not to demean it, but it's just like a fun, goofy song in the beginning to a more serious ballad closer at the end and everything in between.
I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
Oh.
I do really enjoy it. Like Evan was saying, there's a lot of variety, and for an EP, to me, like when you listen to an EP, I feel like there's just a lot of times just random songs thrown together over a bunch of recording sessions and whatnot. I think this one was still kind of cohesive. Like they still, it retained their sound. And I mean, maybe that's just my ignorant ears because I haven't listened to a lot of Japanese 90s pop. But I think,
come on, you're not listening to Japanese 90s pop?
And then I started playing
you're
with
off
this
you're out of
program.
here.
I think I'm going to say that my favorite song...
Get that. Could you try again?
We have to do the whole review over. Oh.
No.
I'm gonna say that my favorite song was actually the second song, and I think Vic, you said yours was the third, right? Yeah, I feel like that one was so dynamic, but also so just like I really enjoyed that song.
So yeah, guys, thank you for coming along to the Valentine's, Christmas, St. Patrick's Day album. They just random references, whatever.
New Year's Day, Boxing
inaugural.
Day.
The inaugural episode of can I call it Chatback? Is that licensed official?
Yeah, I just got an LLC with that name, so we're good.
Alright, perfect. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave like a like if you like